Time for another coffee with Kilroy, or what I like to call beverage in a book. Got my beverage, coffee, and well, is this a book? It's kind of a book. I've been covering these paper battles and dioramas from the company Soldiershop Publishing, and reached out to them to see if they, have anything else in the pipeline, or if they, what are they doing with it. And they sent me some PDFs of their books. Now, if you've seen my coverage of these earlier, I've covered this Italian Wars of Independence and the Arab Conquest Wars, 633 AD. And you can tell, these are actual books, but one of the concepts of these books, or the core concept of these books, is that they're paper miniatures, and that you're going to need to copy pages out of these books in order to play the game. You can't take stuff out because it will limit, you can't play them right out of the book because it would limit how many units you'd be able to use. Plus, there's printing on the back side of them as well. So, so they sent me some PDFs of a couple of their books, which might be the best way to get these. And I think these are available through PDF as well. And because then you can print these out on whatever paper you want, and then make as many as you want and construct them. So, but we'll get into that as I do a quick page turn on these pages. So I just printed these out on regular paper. Didn't do them on anything harder. If I was going to construct these, I would put them on probably a different stock. So this is Paper Battles and Dioramas 010 or 10, Play the Ancient Greek Wars. And this is by Soldiershop Publishing. This is out of Italy, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these names, because I know I will, much like my local meat counter, I will definitely butcher them mightily. So, but this is out of Italy, and if you've checked out my other videos on this, on these books, which I'll put a description in the link, or in the put a link in the description. How about that? I need more coffee. That's a clear sign right there. Alrighty. So you'll see that how these are kind of laid out, and so we'll do a quick page through of this one and see how this goes. So there's your cover page, and again, this is all a PDF. So I just printed this out on regular paper. Another cover page. You've got something about the authors there. Then, as you can see here, you're going to have some background on the ancient Greek wars, and it's dual-sided. One side is going to be English, one side is going to be Italian. So if you want to brush up on your Italian, you can do the cross-translation right in front of your eyes there. There's always a section in here on how to assemble these. As you can see here, they're going to be assembling stuff right out of this book here. Another thing too that is you've got to be careful though with the PDFs is, I just kind of noticed this. I mean, the books themselves are a little bit smaller than when you print them out on the PDF. So the question is, your miniatures are going to be a different size. Now, I don't think you mix and match these. I mean, Greek wars, Italian wars, well, if you want to do an anachronistic battle, maybe. But so this is going to be different. Some of the miniatures might be a different size with the depending on what paper you print them on. And then you get right into the minis, or the paper miniatures, I should say, on this. And so there you get an example. Now, my printer was not great. That's one reason why I didn't decide to get the highest quality print out of these on the hardest or the thickest stock, because I just wanted to kind of talk about them and show them off, and then I'll go back and use the PDF file at my own timing and convenience. But you get a chance to see some of the minis there, and this would be on the back side of that, or that might have been on the back side of that. And this is still going on how do you construct these, how you can put these together. And so it's like almost every other page is going to be minis. And sometimes you're going to have the paper miniatures back to back as well. So you see some mounted chariots, a lot of infantry there. And then you get into some of the background from Trojan War to Alexander the Great. So that's the time period that some of these minis can cover here. And you're getting a little bit of the history, again, English and Italian, and more minis. Somebody commented on my on one of the earlier videos on this topic and said that that they would probably go do the PDF route, or I think they might have said they bought some of the PDFs, because this is an easier way to manipulate these pages. Continuing on with the history there, and some more minis, and again, so this is basically just a book full of minis. Now there will be rules in here. Usually there are rules in here. I haven't got to that page yet. We're going on the history here. Now we're up to the Peloponnese War, as they're saying there. I think it's some pretty cool detail there. Continuing on with the history. So these books are interesting. That's one reason I kind of like to have them in the book format, because of the background information and the rules. But I do think this is easier to, you know, if you're wanting to construct these, this is probably easier to manipulate. Now we're up to the Macedonian-Persian Wars. There's Darius. And there's Alexander himself. Wow. Now we're getting into some different kind of stuff there. Continuing on with the history. Still talking about Alexander. Then there's the Trojan horse. Look at that. You got a mini for the Trojan horse there. Now you get into the rules. And again, they're going to be English and Italian. It's all your standard miniature rules. But for this period here, army sequence of play. Some ships here. And so I guess you would just take that. If you wanted to have multiple ships, you could make multiple copies of that. Shooting, charge into melee, generals. So the rules are not very long. I mean, the rules are relatively short, but there'll be some tables in here as well. And again, almost every other page is a group of paper miniatures. And here's your tables, and the tables are also in English and in Italian. You got your movement, shooting, and melee. And this is, I think, just part of the history. These aren't really for the miniatures. It was just, they really like showing off their illustrations and printing sometimes. More minis. So I thought this was an interesting way to provide these books, the PDF, because, I mean, if you're going to want to make multiple copies, you can just do multiple copies of that page. You can make as many miniatures as you want. All right, here's the kind of the background of the armies. Here's the Greek army. And you get some elephants. Continuing on with the Greek army here. Ooh, look at that. There's a King of Troy on his, being carried by his subjects. Then we're getting into the Macedonian army. Persian army. Oh, need something to flip these over. You can see a lot of different variety there of the units. And even if you're really not big on the paper miniatures, I mean, these books might actually be somewhat of a source for, you know, the color palettes and painting some of the miniatures, maybe, if you're so inclined to have real miniatures on this. And then we get some sceneries for the ancient Greek wars. So talking a little bit about the background. Multiple different chariots here. This is talking about the Battle of Marathon. That's kind of cool. As you can see, there's just pages and pages of minis. Scenario for, was that ESO November? Battle of ESO, November 333 BC. So there's a scenario there. That's kind of cool, Battle of ESO. Maybe that's Issus. I called it ESO there, but maybe it's the Battle of Issus, which is Alexander the Great battle. So you get some scenarios in here as well. The Italian wars I don't think had specific scenarios, but the other one did, and so maybe that is more common to have scenarios in here. Then you get some buildings or structures. Some terrain. And here's the rest of the books that are in this series there. So if you're interested in any of that, you can freeze frame that. And you have the back pages of this. And there you have it. That is the back of the book there. Play the Ancient Greek War. This is Paper Battles and Dioramas 10. You can see they got a little scissors on there because you need to cut these out. But that is what you get if you buy the book format, which will come in something like this. That's what you'll get. Otherwise, if you get the PDF, then you're going to be able to manipulate it as you desire through this. So anyway, that is what I have for you all today on my Coffee with Kilroy. Love to know what you think about this. Is this even a thing? Is this something you're interested in? Is it, you know, if you're a miniatures player, do you just not want to mess with paper miniatures and just go right to the heavy stuff? Or is this something that's a nice alternative, especially for areas or battles that might not have a lot of miniatures available, or even a rule set maybe, or something you're comfortable with? These rules look very, very basic for miniatures, I would have to say that. Or is it just interesting as a resource because there's some history and some scenarios, and then the color palette of these is interesting as well. So anyway, love to know your thoughts. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. And let me know you stopped by. Drop a comment and start the dialogue and let me know what you think. Anyway, enjoy your beverage of choice and the rest of your day. If this is at the end of the day, I hope you had a good one and hope you have a good one tomorrow. Take care. Thanks for watching.